Hey there! Ready to learn some new words? We've got 25 of them lined up, but don't worry, we're not just going to throw a long list at you. We're going to learn them in a super smart and organized way so they actually stick in your brain. By the end of this, you'll be using these words like a pro. Let's get started. So here's our game plan. We've split all 25 words into 5 simple groups based on what they mean. First, we'll talk about planning, then about truth, then the art of arguing, that's a fun one, then describing people, and finally, we'll look at connections and results. This way, it's going to be way easier to remember everything. Okay, let's jump right into our first group. These words are all about planning for the future and making really careful choices. You could say these are words for people who always think before they act. All right, first up we have provident. Now, a great little trick for this one is to see the word provide hiding inside it. A provident person is someone who provides for their future. You know, they're always thinking ahead, especially with money. So instead of spending everything today, they save a little each month just in case. They are always prepared. Next, we have prudent. Now, this one sounds a little like providence, and it is similar, but it's much more general. To be prudent just means being wise and careful in all sorts of situations, not just financial ones. A prudent person is someone who looks both ways before crossing the street or thinks very carefully before making a huge life decision. So let's really nail down the difference, because this is important. Provident is very specific. It's all about providing for the future. Just remember that provide is in the word. Prudent, on the other hand, is about being careful and wise in general. So a provident person is definitely prudent with money, but a prudent person is careful about pretty much everything. Okay, we've got 2 more words in this group. First is provisional. Provisional just means temporary, something that's only for now and not forever. Think about a provisional driver's license. It lets you drive, but it's not the final permanent one, and it might have special rules. Then there's the verb qualify. When you qualify a statement, you add a condition to it that makes it a little less strong. So if you say, the food is delicious, but then you add, though it's a bit spicy, you just qualified your praise. You put a limit on it. All right, time for group 2. This one is super interesting. It's all about words we use when something might not be quite what it seems, when we're questioning if something is really true. Okay, these 2 words, purported and putative, can be a little tricky, so let's clear it up. Purported means something is claimed to be true, but there's a lot of doubt. You can almost feel the suspicion, like the purported ghost sighting turned out to be just a shadow. Putative, on the other hand, is what's generally believed or assumed to be true, even without the final official proof. He's the putative leader of the project because everyone just assumes he is. And the last one in this group is recondite. This word sounds pretty complicated and, well, that's exactly what it means. Something that is recondite is really, really hard to understand because it's about a very specialized topic that most people don't know anything about. Think about, books on quantum mechanics or ancient philosophy. That stuff is often very recondite. Okay, you're going to love this next part. To make these 5 words really stick, we're going to put them into a story about an argument. It's way easier to remember words when they're connected to a story, right? So just picture this. 2 friends are having a disagreement. One of them starts by criticizing the other. How does it go from there? Let's watch it unfold, step by step. So here's how it goes. First, one person starts with a rebuke. That's a sharp criticism. The second person doesn't just take it, they rebut it, which means they argue back. Then things get a little heated. They might make a recrimination. That's when you throw an accusation right back at the other person. And finally, one person might refute the other's point, proving it's false, or they might recant their own statement, which means taking back what they said. And this is a perfect example of a recrimination. It's that classic move in a fight. It's not just defending yourself. It's turning the attack right back on them. You think I'm lazy? Well, you're even messier. That's a classic recrimination. All right, let's switch gears. Our 4th group is filled with really useful words to describe different kinds of people, their personalities, and how they behave. First up, provincial. Someone who is provincial has a narrow, limited view of the world, maybe like someone who's never left their small town or their province. Next is quixotic. A quixotic person is a dreamer. They have big, wonderful, idealistic goals, but they're totally impractical. And rapacious describes someone who is aggressively greedy. They want to grab everything they can for themselves. Let's keep going. A person who is querulous is always, and I mean always, complaining or whining. You know that type? Then there's recalcitrant,
A recalcitrant person is super stubborn and refuses to obey any rules or listen to authority. And finally, a reclusive person is like a hermit. They prefer to live all alone and avoid being around other people.
And here we are, our fifth and final group. These last few words are all about how things are connected and what happens as a result of those connections.
First, we have proximity. This is a simple one. It just means nearness or closeness. The proximity of the coffee shop to my office makes it very convenient. Reciprocal is a fantastic word. It means something is mutual, a two-way street. A reciprocal agreement benefits both sides. If two people have reciprocal feelings, it means they feel the same way about each other. The word ramification refers to a consequence of an action. And the image of a tree branching out is perfect for this. A single decision is like the trunk, and all the consequences, especially the complex and unexpected ones, are the ramifications that branch out from it. Now, rancor is way more than just being angry. It's a deep, bitter resentment that someone holds onto for a long, long time. After their huge argument, there was a lot of rancor between the two former friends. Just a couple more here. Redolent is all about smell. If a room is redolent of something, it means it's filled with a strong smell, usually a nice one. You could say a bakery is redolent of fresh bread. Redundant means something is repetitive and totally unnecessary. Saying a free gift is redundant because, well, a gift is always free, right? And our very last word is qualitative. This is all about the quality of something, what it's like, its characteristics. It's the opposite of quantitative, which is all about the quantity, or the amount of something. And this chart illustrates that perfectly. Describing how customers feel as very happy is qualitative data. It tells you about the quality of their experience. The number of sales, 500 units, is quantitative data. It tells you the amount. See the difference? And we'll end with a little question for you. Using the words you've just learned, who do you think would be the most difficult person to work with? The querulous person who always complains? The recalcitrant person who refuses to follow rules? Or the provincial person with a narrow worldview? Think it over.